Well, good morning, folks. It's the 19th of June, 2024. Welcome to my channel. Here with Edward. I'm here in South Westnedge Park. Beautiful little park here. Surrounded by homes. And Westnedge Street right over here, the old fire station. Nice old vintage Kalamazoo homes. We'll take a little walk through here. You see the large trees. It was noted that there are 52 different trees here in this park. There's bur oaks and white and red oak. This was known back in the day as an oak opening, kind of like what you would read in James Fenimore Cooper, his books, writings about oak openings. Get on here and take a little bit closer look at this beautiful little park. Be right back. Right here's a state historical marker, even South Westnedge Park. Take a look at that too. Here's somebody's nice old, seriously, it's a cool little end table. Definitely Edwardian. It really is. Doesn't have the leaves there with it, but that's something else to just be sitting there like that. Here's the old engine house number 5, built in 1910 here along Westnedge. And we're back here in the park. City of Kalamazoo welcomes you. See the sunrise starting there in the distance. Very, very nice. Well, this cemetery, and I said cemetery, this is what it is. Well, this was a little gift, as it were, from the Burdick family back in 1832. 1862, burials stopped here with the opening of Riverside Cemetery, and then later Mountain Home, in which some of the bodies that were buried here were disinterred and reinterred in those two cemeteries. But right here below our feet, still to this day, are approximately 300 graves, about 300 bodies that are still here that are not moved. Many headstones were flat back in the day. They were just pulled up and laid down flat on top of the graves, and then kind of covered over, not kind of, but covered over with earth. And then over the years, the grass grew and more earth and so forth. And it's turned into this beautiful little park, but it's a cemetery. And it denotes all this here on the historical marker. Not very easy to read, but talks about it being the Pioneer Cemetery. In 1862, hundreds of pioneer settlers were buried here in what was then known as the Southwest Street Cemetery. After years of neglect, Kalamazoo's Pioneer Cemetery was converted into a park. And when they stopped burying people here, they just let it go. It's a fact. And some other wiser thinking heads got together and decided to clean it up, do what they did with the headstones, and turn it into a cemetery, or into a park. Walk right over here a second and show you Westnedge Street. Back in the day, I remember when they widened this from 2 lanes to 4, and of course they're doing work on it again, you can see. And they had to widen the sidewalks and everything. And you can see these trees that are right against the sidewalk. The old sidewalk used to be closer over here to where the curb is. And when they put this new sidewalk through, they actually found graves along here. And they had to be moved before they could put the sidewalk in. I don't know how many that they found here, but they found some. And they had to be moved. You see an occasional dog walker in here. A couple of years ago, there were 100 or so homeless people camped out here, and they've been relocated. You see these brick walkways that were installed, park benches, there's picnic tables over here. But something that you will know I never see is playfulness here. You don't see people throwing frisbees, you don't see people camped out having lunches or playing with their kids here in this space. It just sits here like this. Once in a while, people, like I say, walk their dog. There's a person coming here with their dog. But that's just about it. I'll be right back. Okay, folks, of course, this is one of the haunted spots in Kalamazoo. There's quite a bit of activity here. Now, I'm not going to tell you which one of these homes it is, but from that corner, right around the park right here, right up in through here to right there, okay, one of these homes is what I'm going to talk about right now. Now, we all were sworn to secrecy by the owner, and she's still alive, not to tell which one of these homes it is. But her home was built by a man was buried here in this cemetery with his family, almost right across the street from his home. One of these, so it would be right there along the edge line where you see the green grass, or right along here. Okay? Well, this man was a high Freemason, and when they turned this cemetery into a park, things started happening. The next owner of the home, after this man died, was buried here, the builder of that home. He lived there for about 35 or 40 years and had strange things happen with him, knockings on the doors, knocking the doors and the walls of his home inside, not outside. Things like that. Also, some strange smells was recorded. Some years go by, and the lady who now owns it bought the residence. Now, she was down in the basement, it was an old basement, doing some work. There was an old linoleum floor, of all things. And she says, this doesn't look right, I want that up. So she had that pulled up, and underneath it were 12 to 14-inch wide boards laid out side by side like board flooring over the old dirt floor. Well, in the center of this was a 4.5-foot diameter pentagram burned almost an inch deep into the wood, into that thick wood. And it was a single pentagram. It wasn't broke. It would have had to been made with either like a large brand, like a branding iron, that would be just set down on that and then pressed into the wood to make that. Don't know. And so there it sat. And so some people were called, and I was invited, and we went over and took a look at this. She was afraid to do anything with that. There was some investigation made, and it's funny, but there was nothing found. As it said, this house is clean. Well, we all vowed not to speak of which one of these houses that is, because it is authentic. That was put there when that floor was installed. It wasn't pre-burned into the sections of that wood. It was done after the floor was laid. So somebody got down in there with one big heavy brand, white hot, and pressed it with a whole lot of weight into that wood to burn that pentagram into that thick planking, as it were. So we left it at that, and have knowledge that she's still there in the home. No photographs were allowed. She wouldn't allow no photographs. So that was that. Little scary story here, possibly something to do with the pissed off builder of that home, who was laid here in this quiet, beautiful little cemetery, and then the cemetery turned into a park. One of the more interesting stories, and there are more. So thank you for being with me here on this day. It's Wednesday, walking through the old cemetery here, amongst the old growth trees, the oak opening here in Kalamazoo, said to be one of the last other than Bronson Park downtown. Very few oak openings are left. This all used to be oak openings, this whole neighborhood, 140 years ago. Thank you. Have a great day.